And we are live. Yo, come on, come all. Nothing but love, nothing but respect. You know what we do, what we don't, what we is, what we isn't, and what we is here today, bringing you guys and girls One Piece chapter 1100. We are getting so damn close to chapter 1111. We're 11 chapters away. I know chapter 1100 is something that a lot of people have been hyping up for the longest. I am both keen for it, but also not too, how do I say this? I'm keen for this chapter, but I'm also not like, oh my god, this has to be a monumental chapter, because I learnt my lesson with chapter 900 when it was just kinda You know what I mean? For those of you that don't know, if you were reading week to week back when chapter 900 dropped, everyone was like saying the same thing, you know, every 100 chapters it has to be a cliffhanger, it has to be amazing, it has to be a 10 out of 10. And yeah, we got the Sunny sinking, but it wasn't the same as Mihawk showing up in chapter 50. It wasn't the same as Dragon showing up in chapter 100. It wasn't the same as Rayleigh showing up in chapter 500, right? Chapter 1000? It's not the same. Like, there's like, it happens from time to time, but it doesn't need to happen every single time, ladies and gentlemen. But, that being said, I sound like I'm downplaying this chapter. I don't even know what this chapter's about. I want to get into this chapter, get into the excitement of it, you know, just feel the greatness of it. The name of the chapter is Thank You, Bonnie, so I'm assuming this is going to be more of KUMA and Bonnie's relationship, evolving, so we'll see. That being said, before we do, you know what to do, you know what is appreciated, you know what is expected at this point in time. Subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon for more notifications for content like this. Give the video a thumbs up and all that good stuff. And if you want to hang around, we'll probably get a little bit of a discussion going at the end of the chapter as well, separate probably to the live discussion stream we'll do over the weekend. So, keep an eye out for that. That being said, let's get into it. We're picking up. We have a cover request by Noda Skywalker. Honestly, I do not think there's a single person that has written in and gotten more color spreads than Noda Skywalker, right? Sanji cooking vegetables, making Usopp nostalgic about the Usopp pirates. Okay, because he's thinking about Carrot, Onion, and I don't remember that other dude's name, but I know he's based on a capsicum, but surely he's not an actual capsicum. Or no, he was apple. He was based on an apple, wasn't he? Not a capsicum? Now I'm starting to doubt myself. I'm starting to doubt myself now, ladies and gentlemen. Alright, that being said, let's... Oh! Oh, you fucking know it's a good chapter when you get dripped out Borsalino on the front page. Look at this man. Every fit. He's got the 3-piece. Yo. Man went from the 3-piece in the flashback to 2-piece in the current because we're getting close to 1-piece. Right? My man dresses for the occasion. Bloody hell, I love that fit. Honestly, every time I see Kizaru, he's just like... he's carrying. At the future location of Egghead, so this is still Science Base 08. I'm afraid I'm here on business. Man, it's cold. This place sure is a far cry from Punk Hazard. Just you wait. The future will be born right here. My head is overflowing with ideas. It's honestly hard to think straight. That explains how you missed it. You really should have checked every nook and cranny over the lab when you moved in. Navy Admiral Kizaru, Borsalino. So Kizaru's obviously an admiral already at this point. Not that it really matters, because this is only happening 4 years ago at this point in the story. Right? Because the last chapter ended off 4 years ago. You really should have checked every nook and cranny of the lab when you moved in. And Vegapunk's just huffing, yeah, well, the government frowns on secret background deals with pirates, you know? And they're still being monitored. Okay, you got me, Borsalino. I hate it when you get like this. Come on, I'm just doing my job. Ooh, is that Drake? Okay, so Drake was a rear admiral specifically under Borsalino, and this also finally gives a good timeline. So 4 years ago, Drake wasn't an undercover sword op. So that's actually pretty important information there, honestly speaking. It's irrelevant. If you consider him an ideal candidate, Vegapunk. This man is a pirate worth 296 million on his head. You could say you were ignorant of that, or simply admit you don't care. But making a fugitive the face of our clone program is out of the question. It'd be an affront to the Navy's reputation. Yo, so they're already giving him the rundown on how he's effing up. That's interesting. That is definitely interesting. And it looks like they've already got green blood tanks in the background there too. So they've already taken like large samples of his DNA during the testing process. With that in mind, we have 3 additional stipulations if you want us to honor this deal of yours. Firstly, Bartholomew KUMA. You must agree to become one of the 7 Warlords of the Sea. A few days ago, we found ourselves a member short thanks to the exploits of a rookie named Ace. It caused great turbulence in the pirate world. Someone of your caliber would be a natural choice to fill that opening and claim the seas. Whoa, 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 whoa! This happened around the same time as Ace versus Jinbei. Is KUMA meant to be Jinbei's replacement? But that doesn't make sense. Why call them the 7 Warlords of the Sea? You must agree to become one of the 7 Warlords. That would imply that there's already 7 and he's replacing one. I'm gonna have to come back to that. I am gonna have to come back to that. Yo, Ebenezer, good to see you, my dude. How are you? Alrighty. Our second condition is for you to undergo procedures to become a human weapon for the Navy. Are you talking about modifying my body? Precisely. You already have all the traits required to be an effective warlord. So you'll become a paragon of fear for pirate scum far and wide after you receive your enhancements. I second that. The Navy would love to have you on their side. Can it, Kizaru? Wait, is that Vegapunk screaming that? You see my point, but that's not all. You aren't like other pirates, KUMA. We are well aware of your history with the Revolutionary Army. If you accept our offer, we must take precautions to ensure you never turn your power against the world government again. Which brings us to our third and final condition. You must agree to give up. You must agree to give up your free will and sense of individuality. Saint Saturn, that would be tantamount to killing him. This is because none of the other warlords follow orders, isn't it? If you snuff out all the humanity left in a cyborg, you'll have nothing but a robot. Do you really expect me to murder a man? You forget yourself. You're a military scientist. And you have no right to talk back. These conditions must be met if this criminal wishes to save his daughter. It's a small price to pay considering how expensive and difficult this procedure would be otherwise. I have no obligations to help this girl. This is murder. It'd be perverse to modify a human like that. I won't. Vegapunk, please do it. KUMA? I've been worrying all this time, thinking it might be impossible to Fuck! I've been worrying all this time, thinking it might be impossible to save Bonnie. I'm so grateful. I'll happily accept any fate so long as Bonnie is cured. And the man is crying his guts out. Freaking Vegapunk is in tears. And even Kizaru is doing the hat over the eyes like, it's a rainy day, brother. It's a rainy day. And you can see this, you can see the tear going down one of Kizzy's cheeks there. And Bonnie's running around none the wiser playing with Sento. Vegapunk, how long will it take you to finish KUMA's modifications and cure his daughter? Dealing with the Sapphire Scale will take 6 months, but it'll take an extra year on top of that before she can be exposed to natural light. That's a total of about a year and a half before she's cured. KUMA's modifications will take 2 years at minimum. Thank goodness, she really will be all better by the time she's 10. How can we trust you to remain obedient after she's cured? Your daughter is our only leverage here. I have no intention of running. Be that as it may, the world government will have to take you. Wait. Be that as it may, the world government will have to take custody of her once her treatment is complete. She'll be free after you follow through with the erasure of your personality. But that would mean KUMA won't get to see Bonnie after she's cured. Correct. His modifications will commence immediately. It'll be an ongoing process, as he starts his tenure as a warlord and helps the government tame the seas. After his daughter is cured, any contact between them will be forbidden to ensure they don't escape. If there is any hint of defiance from any of you, I guarantee she will spend the rest of her life as a slave. No! Oh! Yo, Bonnie accidentally bonked the plan. Because we have earlier in the flashback when KUMA's in the church, when he removes stuff from people, it has a time limit before it reverts back to the original user. So someone has to take it on, or eventually it'll go back. KUMA removed his own memories, and Vegapunk stored them, but they hadn't gone back to KUMA yet. Bonnie absorbs the memories, which stops it going back to KUMA and reawakening KUMA's personality. Bonnie just unintentionally trying to learn everything ruined KUMA's plan. That's heartbreaking. I won't try to see her, I swear. I only have one request. Don't tell Bonnie the truth. She can't know about her illness or that she's being kept as a hostage. I don't want her to wake up after her surgery in some soulless government facility. Take her back to Sorbet. You can keep her in the church where she grew up. If you can grant that one request, then I promise you, I won't seek her out, and I'll obey without question. Very well. It makes no difference where she's kept, as long as the government oversees it. Looks like we have an interesting 2 years ahead of us. Bonnie, we'll be staying here for the next 6 months. Really? So you're staying with me? That's right. They think I may have come down with something too, so they need to run some tests. Snap! That means we get to be together, yay! Oh, this weirdo is Sentomaru. That's yeah. Oh, I love the roasting of Sentomaru. I love that. That's rude. Wow, this place has so many windowless rooms. Yes, but be careful. There's all sorts of dangerous gadgets around here. That's it. I can create the weapon of my dreams now. Damn it. The brainwaves won't stop. Someone needs to write everything I'm thinking down. If only they could eat and use the toilet for me too. I'd never have to stop. Yo, so this is him coming up with the concept of all the satellite bodies. I'm so short-handed, it's maddening. Ugh. I just had another eureka moment. This is gonna keep me as busy as a beaver. I wish there were 5 more of me. This is the same cat-related idiom from chapter 1062. Yo, so Vegapunk is literally writing so fast that his office is on fire. Yo, yo, power scalers! Vegapunk has such good shorthand. This man is going Mach 5. Where you at? You got, yeah. Mach 5 Vegapunk confirmed. Oh. No, and we see KUMA getting the modifications. Oh, I just realized as well, Vegapunk's wearing the shirt that we see when we first see his silhouette when KUMA's talking about him. And Kobe's talking about him. Yo, look at KUMA though. That is a lot of tech and altercations happening to that man. And it looks like they're using not green blood, but like big gallons of RNA to help Bonnie too. Because they keep focusing on these tubes. Although that could just be the stem cell stuff. Ooh. I wonder if that's the stuff that's in the Germa 66 tanks. And it's just like stem cell fluid that can just be shaped into whatever you need. Yeah, and Bonnie's just playing with Sentamaru. She's drawing him pictures and that. They're chilling out. We get the Umit cargo ship from the underground brokers. And Kuma's just helping around the place, just being a real chill dude. Oh, they even have a pizza party. Yo, this is breaking my heart. This is actually breaking my heart, dude. They're having a pizza party, and look at Kizaru in there. This really is a family. Yeah, fuck me. I think at this point in time, Kizaru is my favorite admiral. Like, I think it goes Kizaru, Aokiji, Fujitora, Akainu, Greenbull. In that order. Kuma's even got Kizaru doing the Nika dance. The doom ta 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 doom ta ta ta. Oh, half a year later. Okay, the results are good. After a year of rehabilitation, you'll be completely cured. Thank you, Dr. Vacabunk. So we still see that Punk Records are under construction here. So this is half a year late. Wait. Did they do a time skip already? No. So this is half a year after. So this is happening 6 to 12 months prior to the start of the story. Okay, the results are good. After a year of rehabilitation, you'll be completely cured. Thank you, Vegapunk. Yeah, thanks. Once I'm all better, can I come visit? Of course. Kingdom of Sorbet, Kumachi, Bonnie-chan. It's been so long. Are you finally home for good? They said I'll be all better in a year. Then I'll finally be able to go outside. Is that right? That's fantastic news. You always said you'd be fit as a fiddle by the time you turned 10. Oh, yo. Does this mean I'll be taking care of you again, Bonnie? Granny Connie! Member of Sorbet royal family, Queen Dowager Connie. We would be more than happy to take care of her, Kuma. Yeah, you can count on us. Thank you. I'll leave her in your hands. I'm still a pirate after all. If I stay, it won't be for the good of the kingdom. I don't think I'll be back for at least a year. What? That long? I'll write you tons of letters. Okay. The next time I see you, you will both be able to sail this. The next time I see you, we both will be able to sail the seas and reach the horizon. I can't wait. That is Kuma that's Kuma outright saying to her, the next time we meet, I'm gonna be dead. But next time we meet is in the afterlife. I want to travel to all sorts of places together. I'd love to take you. I really would have loved that. Please leave the rest to us, Kuma-san. Who's that? Cypher Pole number 8, Intelligence Agent Alpha. Why does that look like... Like, if I didn't already know that Khalifa was in Water 7, I would say that that is Khalifa's sister. Or Khalifa herself. I'm a nurse. The doctor ordered me to take care of Bonnie-chan during her recovery. I'll check her temperature daily. Make sure she takes her medicine and monitor for any changes. My name is Alpha. Nice to meet you, Bonnie-chan. No suspicious individuals will be allowed near her during recovery. Please remember to bring identification with you if you plan on visiting. That's such a pain. And what's that building you're putting up in front of the church? Those are our accommodations. Don't forget, a child's life is such a fragile thing. Yo, and she breaks that stone damn easily. I understand. I'm not coming back. Thank you, Bonnie. I'm so glad you were born. Really? Yo. The fact that Bonnie is a pirate by the time of Sabbaty really does mean KUMA, if KUMA wasn't a man of his word, they could have ran away together on Sabbaty. Like, think about that. Bonnie was active on Sabbaty as a pirate. She escaped these guys. And even Akainu post Marineford was saying how a cold chill ran down his spine when he heard that Bonnie had escaped. Because KUMA would have been able to fucking run rampant. That is heartbreaking. Damn. Take care. The pirates of the world were utterly shocked when the infamous tyrant Bartholomew KUMA suddenly became an absolutely obedient member of the Seven Warlords. Young master, there's a new warlord. So, okay, he only became a warlord a year and a half before the pre-time skip. So KUMA had only been a warlord for 3.5 years. KUMA the Tyrant. Sounds like another villain has come into play. What do you think? I couldn't care less. Have you taken care of those idiots who spotted our rainmaking ship yet? This is in reference to the hidden ship from 212, the Dance Powder ship. Okay. Mihawk, what are you doing here? Okay, Mihawk's already a warlord here. But there's some explosions happening in the background. Mihawk looks like he's been a little bit active. Right? Sorry. We're getting a montage of all these people reacting to KUMA being a warlord. Why the hell are we cutting to Alvida? Like, I'm not going to complain, because I like getting Alvida moments. But why? Why? He looks as big as Whitebeard. Kobe, who do you reckon is stronger, me or him? You of course, Alvida Summer. Ooh. Ooh, and we cut to everyone's favorite Flame Boy. So they finally found a replacement. That's great news, Jim. So they finally found a replacement. That's great news, Jinbei. Considering the circumstances, you're the last person I'd expect to say that. I'm still reading the details about him. He's a former king. This is on top of the remaining king we already have in our ranks. The pirate world really is changing. I think there was another warlord other than Jinbei. The way that's implying, because Jinbei's talking about our rank, so he's still a warlord. Right? The fact that they asked KUMA to join the 7 warlords implies that they always had a preset number of 7. Pardon me. They always had a preset number of 7 planned. So, Ace defeated another warlord? Around the same time. So, he's already on part of the crew here. So, no. Ace beats Jinbei. Goes. No one finds out Ace beat Jinbei. Ace goes, joins the Whitebeard Pirates, does his adventure with the Whitebeard Pirates, does the Kaido stuff, and then at some point defeats another unnamed warlord. That could be the man marked by flames. Yeah, that could be the man marked by flames. If at this point in time, Whitebeard's still in charge of protecting Fishman Island, if the road poneglyph is still on Fishman Island, whoever Ace beats could potentially go to Fishman Island, steal that last road poneglyph, and become the man marked by flames. And it's only a recent thing, that's why no one really knows about him. But, wait, I'm still reading the details about him. But Blackbeard's there, so Blackbeard would know... Okay, I guess it's not the man marked by flames. He's a former king. This is on top of the reigning king we already have in our ranks. The pirate world really is changing. Their business doesn't affect us. I follow no man's orders. Princess, it's essential that you keep track of information like this. Kishishishi. They say he's a poor-palmed man. That doesn't exactly sound frightening, does it? Oh, wait. Dofi, Croc, Mihawk. Jinbei, Boa, Moria. So this shows all their reactions, all the Warlords' reactions to KUMA joining. So KUMA was the last one to join. Weirdly enough, I feel like this may be the order that the Warlords actually started. They're called the Royal Warlords, like the Royal Shijibukai. Bleh. There were 7 Royal Warlords, right? Having that title, Doflamingo is probably the first person that made it. Croc, we know, has been active for like fucking a decade as a warlord, right? So Dofi first, then Croc. Mihawk is like one of their fast picks. Then this other no-named one joins. Jinbei, then Boa, and then the last one is Moria. And then that unnamed one gets defeated by Ace, and then KUMA takes over. Seems to be the timeline at the moment. Hishishishi. They say he's a poor-palmed man. That doesn't exactly sound frightening, does it? Well, he's already a warlord, so he's got to be strong enough to make the cut, Moria-sama. And Dragon's just contemplating what the hell's going on. Sabo, don't the warlords answer directly to the government? Kuma-san would never work for them. Dear Bonnie, I'm still at sea as I write this. Oh, yo, look at his... Oh, yo. I know it's a drawing of Kuma, but doesn't that just look like a discount sun god? Or a discount Sunny? Dear Bonnie, I'm still at sea as I write this. I've become quite well known, and it's getting harder and harder to sail in peace. But I'm doing okay. I'm doing my best to find interesting travel destinations for when you turn 10. Cool. It'll be a long journey to deliver this. Please take care. I hope everyone back home is doing as well as I am. Bartholomew Kuma, come in. Wait a minute! Wait a minute, hang on. I'll get people up in the chat. Bartholomew Kuma, come in. You have new commands from the government. What is your current location? I'm in the East Blue. What are my orders? She. Uh-oh, I made him mad. Yo, hello, Paladin. Hang on a second. Let me make you hearable to all the lovely people. Talk now, my dude. There we go. You're live now.
Welcome, chat. Let's get it. We have reached peak fiction. We have reached peak fiction.
What?
Chapter 1100. Bro, it has been really a milestone in the One Piece community if we really think about it.
It feels like, I mean, number-wise, it's wild. I'm a little more excited for chapter 11. 11.
Yo, that's gonna be hard. So yeah, let's get it. Maybe we can get up to 2,000. We don't know, but we might be.
Look, if One Piece ever made it to 2,000, it's not from a shortage of content. You know?
Facts. But yeah, we is here. We is achievement unlocked. That's why I will always say, out of all the animes, the big 3 have the biggest influence around the world. We really made it to 1100. Achievement unlocked. All right, let's get it.
Yo, this is wild. Like, yeah, it feels amazing to have reached 1100, but at the same point in time, it it's still recontextualizing so many things from so early on in the story.
Yeah.
Yo, okay. First things first, what are your thoughts on this chapter?
Um, I I've heard some really good things. I haven't seen the chapter yet. I just only seen some like stuff off of the TikTok. You
Dude,
know, like all the stuff.
dude,
I haven't seen it yet, but I heard it's pretty good.
the link to the chapter is in the Discord, over at the chapter links section. Feel free to read. It's a good chapter.
Okay, no problem.
And
But still, the way Kuma sacrificed his humanity for his daughter really shows how he is a character overall. Like what
I'm
type of character he is.
I'm actually like I'm not surprised, but I am surprised about the strong moral compass of these 5 people. Like Vegapunk, Sentomaru, Bonnie, Kuma, and Kizaru, Barcelino.
Yeah.
And it's actually making me really question whether or not Kizaru is gonna turn coat.
Yeah, because Kizaru, for the most part, as we talked about, he has his own sense of morality, whether or not it's good or evil, and then our own sense of morality.
This might sound a little messed up, but like I feel like if anyone was going to put every person that we know that was an admiral on the table, and you had to pick the top 2 most likely to be traitors, it's Aokiji and Fujitora, right? I think one of the last people that people would have initially expected to be a turncoat is Kizaru. Which at this point in time, Kizaru is Akainu's Zoro. You know?
Yeah, because because if we look at the way the left wing and the right wing of the admirals goes, you know, we have Kizaru who follows orders without question. Like he does complain, but overall he still follows his orders without question.
Dude, I'm looking at these guys at the moment, right? And think of it from the perspective of this. Kuma and his backstory. Kuma is probably the most pure-hearted person we've seen in the story, other than Luffy. Arguably even more pure-hearted than Luffy.
For sure.
Right?
I feel like Kuma is very pure hearted. Like everything he has done is for other people. He has done nothing out of selfishness. Out of selfishness.
Yeah. If you look at
he's never done it out of greed.
If you look at Bonnie, the only bad things she's ever done is in retaliation to what happened to Kuma. Prior to that, non-existent in her character. Like, she's genuinely just a kid.
This is true.
Vegapunk, having the emotional morale to, even at threat of death, refuse to kill a man.
Yep.
Right? Oh, hang on. The fact that Vegapunk has it emotionally,
that's so crazy.
He's got
like we've seen a lot of characters.
Well, for him to have the emotional bandwidth, right, to not kill a man, and then on top of that, him genuinely regarding Bonnie as a kid and trying to go out of his way to help her, even when Bonnie's actively trying to kill him. But also trying to spare her of her feelings from the suffering and spare her from stuff her dad didn't want her to know, right? Sentomaru, the man that literally is now wanted by the entire world government because...
Around the globe.
Because Vegapunk was just like, please help me. And he's like, my moral code is there. I know you're a good dude. I'm here. right?
Yep. It's the same. Like we also see how some people they have their moral, even though their morals will get them killed, possibly they still follow their heart.
At this point in time, the only one from this group that hasn't abandoned everything is Kizaru.
This is true.
And it may be because Kizaru's character is to be the odd one out, the one that could have abandoned everything and didn't. But at the moment, if you're looking at his peers, like he looks like even his subordinate Drake.
Yep.
Like at this point in time, it really seems like Kizaru's like getting soft teed up to swap sides, especially when we see the entirety of this arc in Egghead, that Kizaru's like actively like struggling to commit his orders, saying like I really don't want to be doing this.
Yeah. Also, I noticed. Okay, this is gonna sound weird, but when I look at Kizaru, his personality, I don't know why, but when it comes to like his job and stuff, he reminds me of Squidward. This is gonna sound crazy because with Squidward, he always says he wants to quit. He always says he wants to quit the Krusty Krab, but he can't because no matter what he does outside of the Krusty Krab, that's the only thing he knows what to do. So in actuality, when you look at Kizaru, the only thing he knows what to do is be a good Marine.
See, even that, even the quote unquote title of Good Marine, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you look at Kizaru on paper at the moment, he only ever does his orders, specifically what's ordered of him, and he only ever goes above and beyond when he feels like he's let himself down. Other than that, he actually doesn't do more than what the orders are given to him.
Yep.
Almost like, unironically, he seems more like Garp than Aokiji and Akainu. In the sense that, like,
Yeah.
if Garp took the position of Admiral and had to work under the Celestial Dragons and had to follow those orders, it's, oh, I'm going to do the orders then. But I'm only going to do those orders. I'm not adding to the, like, the pain of the world to fulfill your, like, to, you know, to make your lives easier or better.
Yeah. Like, it's like, okay, it's like saying, I'm gonna do my job, but I refuse to do any of your wickedness, kind of. Like, you know, like I'm still gonna do my status quo. I'm still gonna do my job and follow orders as a Marine, but I'm not gonna listen to your twisted ways.
Honestly,
Something like that.
I don't know how it makes me feel, because, like, at this point in time, I think Kizaru may genuinely be the best Marine
I will say,
out of the
I will
Admirals.
say, in terms of,
Kobe.
like, what I liked about some of them, I would say some of my favorite Marines got to be Kizaru, Garp, and Fujitora.
See, think of it from this perspective, right?
Mm-hmm.
Kobe, good Marine. The only reason I don't count him at the moment is because he hasn't he hasn't ascended the ranks to make any significant change, right?
He's still a fledgling.
Yeah.
You feel me? He's still a fledgling.
Garp,
He's still like a bird. He's still a cadet. He hasn't gotten he hasn't gotten his wings yet. He hasn't gotten into those life or death situations with pirates yet.
if we look at Garp, honestly, Garp is as fucked up as this is, Garp just turns a blind eye to the atrocities of the world.
He really does. Like, yeah, he's like one of the great heroes of the Marines, but we also seen how he has turned a blind eye, even to when, like, for example, we can already see his biggest blind eye is when he is always pestering Luffy, Sabo, and Ace about being a pirate when you left them with bandits.
See, I don't know. I find it difficult. Also, Turtle Hermit, Young, just letting you know, I can hear you when you're talking. We haven't acknowledged it yet, but we can hear.
All right.
I don't. I'm sort of stuck in it, right? Because it's like Aokiji has a good heart, but he's also like, how do I put this?
What happened?
Aokiji commits atrocities in the sake of good. No different to Akainu and no different to Kizaru. The difference is he morally has an exit strategy for himself by letting one person, Robin, survive. You know what I mean? Like he can put all of his atrocities as justified for his job despite how bad they are, because he let one person go and he's going to see whether or not that was the right choice or not, and if it isn't, he'll make up for it by taking her out himself. But it's his scapegoat emotionally.
Yeah, it's like, okay, so to go along with your saying, though, he's like saying, hey, I know what I did, but hey, I'm the necessary evil of this world.
Yeah. Whereas Akainu is in the mindset of, if we're going to commit evil, we better damn right do it right.
Like, yeah, because, okay, look at the yin and yang. Okay, look at Taoism. Look at the symbol of yin and yang. You have light, but also in darkness, and you have darkness also in light. So for Akainu, he feels like, if I'm going to be necessary evil, then I'm going to be pure darkness. That's why we see him like killing all his subordinates if they run.
I don't even.
Like, oh, you gonna run?
I don't even know if it's necessarily as deep. It is as deep as that. It's not that it's not as deep as that. It's the way I see Akainu at the moment is he's like, it's wrong to commit these atrocities. We have the authority to commit these atrocities. If we're going to commit the atrocities, do it right so we don't have to do it again because we were sloppy.
Yeah, that's what, and then that's why we saw him getting mad at his brother. Because if I'm not mistaken, Fujitora and Akainu are related.
It's not confirmed. That's a theory.
Oh, it's a, because they kind of do look alike. They kind of. I thought they were brothers or cousins, and that's why he's always. And that's why I always saw it was kind of. I thought, because the way Akainu gets on Fujitora, it just seems like familial.
See, if you look at Fujitora, right? Like, we can all admit what he did at Dressrosa was morally right, yeah? But think of it in the perspective of people are already disillusioned with the world government. By doing that as well, he may have spread more disillusionment, which may have added to things like more revolutionaries, but it also could have added to more stuff more like bandits. Like, by making the Marines and the world government look incompetent, it adds to more people being, like, having justification to defy them. So that...
Yeah, it's like, okay, it's like, basically, like, in a country, when the world government and law and order have been compromised, and those who are in charge of politics, Congress, the judge, even the world government itself, when they're like cracks, when there's like cracks in plus incompetence, that leads to the people of the world not trusting starting to have little trust in the government, and that's how, like, rebellions and freedom fighters and terrorists come about.
Okay. We got to get into the meat and potatoes in this, right? Who the fuck was this other warlord?
Ooh.
Did you pick up on any of that? Because I know you haven't read the chapter yet, Black Paladin.
Yeah, we just we don't know who this person is. Who could they be?
Surely it has to be a former Rocks pirate.
Definitely. I heard some people thinking it was Jinbei, but Jinbei is still a warlord at this point.
Yeah, so I thought it was Jinbei when they first brought it up, but then if you actually cut to the scene later in the chapter when they're actually talking about the replacement, Jinbei specifies, oh, Kuma's joining like our ranks, so he's still taking ownership that he's a warlord, and like
Mm-hmm.
Right.
this is like a year and a half before Marineford.
Yeah, and he only quit being a warlord during Marineford because they were gonna kill Ace.
Yeah, so Ace defeated two warlords, so he tied with Jinbei, and he defeated this other dude. Whoever this other warlord is, though.
Possibly it might be a rocks pirate.
See, okay. First things first, this is going to sound like a really random thing to say. I feel like based on the paneling in this chapter, they're explaining to us who joined the warlords in what order. Right? So, the warlords' official title is the Royal Warlords, right?
Yeah, because they're like
Right.
their own. It's almost like their own royal. It's like okay, it's like when you look at a country. A lot of times they have like the royal guard, or they have like the mercenaries. It's like okay, it's like going back to history. It's like when the Greek Romans had Constantinople and they assigned the Varangian Guard. They were like their own division of that military.
See, I think in the case of this, the title Royal comes from the founding member being Doflamingo. Doflamingo being a celestial
Mm-hmm.
dragon would be the only reason why they are allowed to have that like royal status,
Yep.
right? Doflamingo is the first warlord that shows up here. Then it's Crocodile, which we know Crocodile was active for like 10 years as a warlord, right?
Yep.
So 12 years ago, Dofi wasn't a warlord because he was being chased. Crocodile's been a warlord for like a decade. So it's like Dofi 12 years ago ish, Crocodile within the last 10, Mihawk's the next one being shown. So to me, it's like Dofi was the reason they made the warlords in the first place because they realized they couldn't kill him and they needed to bring him to his side. But if they just made him an exception, the world would be asking more questions than they should. So we're gonna make this new system. It's the warlords. Yeah, let's fill some ranks. So it starts with Dofi. Croc's a rookie at the time, so they're like, let's get Croc in on this. Mihawk's the Marine hunter at the time. They're like, world's greatest swordsman though. Let's bring him on board, right? We know 4 years ago, Ace was invited to be a warlord before fighting Jinbei.
Yeah, because if I'm not mistaken, because of the how much influence and clout that Ace had, being Fire Fist Ace, being the son, being the adopted son of Whitebeard, one of Whitebeard's one of Whitebeard's commanders. Ace made a pretty good name for himself,
Well,
so it makes a lot of sense that he would be a candidate to be like either a Yonko or a warlord.
in terms of timeline wise, before he even met Whitebeard, before he even met Jinbei, he was offered the title of warlord, and I think that makes a lot of sense if you look at it from the perspective of that would have meant the world government tried to get two Logias that can cause physical harm to become warlords.
Yeah, because if we look at the way Lokias and Paramecia are, a lot of Lokias and Paramecia can combat each other. It's like okay, it's like rock paper scissors.
Mm.
Like with all the abilities and the elements, there's a lot of rock paper scissors because how each element is the opposite of the other, how each element can combat the other.
So I think Ace just having the Merimero no Me alone was enough for them to be like, yo, this dude needs to be a freaking warlord. Let's get him in the ranks. Yes, sirree, please. Because he got
Yeah,
that
it's like,
offer.
hey, we can use this boy. Hey, they were like, hey, look, and he affiliated with Whitebeard, and he made a name for
Well,
himself. And he got a Logia fruit?
He
Yeah, we
got the
need him
offer.
on.
He got the offer for Warlord before he met Whitebeard, before he fought Jinbei, before
It
he
was in
unlocked
the Ace
Haki.
light novels, right?
Yeah, so he got the offer before meeting Whitebeard, before meeting Jinbei, before unlocking Haki, and before fighting his first ever Vice Admiral. So 4 of his biggest feats come immediately after them wanting him to be a warlord. Plus whatever this this other warlord was that he fought. So I feel like from that perspective, whoever this guy that Ace fought here, like my mind immediately jumped to, oh, okay, is this them setting up the man marked by flame? But I think that's immediately contradicted by the fact that Blackbeard's here.
Mm-hmm.
Because like if Blackbeard's here, aware of Ace beating this other warlord, and aware of this other warlord, it makes no sense for Blackbeard to be like, I don't know who this guy is. It's some mysterious man marked by flame. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it could kind of make sense because it's not really
It's not
like
blatant.
if the man marked by flames is keeping his identity like hidden, then it's not necessarily too
It's like
much of a jump,
incognito.
but huh?
It's like being incognito. Like we know who's there, but we don't know at the same time.
Mm.
Yeah. So, and then we have like Lafitte theorizing, and I think he even said that they think he was world government affiliated, maybe.
Yep.
And then
Like
so being
does
a
he have
warlord is
ties
being an
to the
affiliate
government?
of the world government. Oh, what'd you say?
Mm. I was like, it's like saying, is he affiliated with the government, or does he have ties to the government? That's the real question. Like being like, there's like it's like yes and no at the same time. Like, does he have ties to the government? Is he affiliated with the government? You just got to dig deeper.
Right.
Mm.
That's why I always loved about One Piece as a whole. Like we've seen, like One Piece to me, One Piece is like a big giant circle. Like you just get to see everything from good people, morally people, bad people, like those who just want to be bad. Dopey for an example. Like he doesn't have to be an evil psychopath, but he wants to be an evil psychopath. So that's why the term heavenly demon suffice. It actually makes a lot of sense for Dofi.
Yeah, exactly.
I think from that perspective as well,
Mm-hmm.
Dofi 12 years ago, Crocodile 10 years ago, Mihawk anytime after that 10-year mark, then I think they cut over to Ace talking, like Ace is with Jinbei, but they talk about Ace talking about the replacement. So I think Dofi joined, Croc joined, Mihawk joined, then this mysterious one joined. Then Jinbei, then Boa, then Moria was the last one to join. Right? So if you look at it from that
Yep.
perspective, it's like in that last 10 years, then we know Jinbei was a warlord in the Fisher Tiger flashback, right? But he wasn't a warlord at the beginning of it. He became one after Fisher Tiger passed. So when did Fisher Tiger pass away? Hang on.
Rest in peace, the fish tiger.
When did Fisher Tiger die? Fisher Tiger died...
Like 12 years ago, right?
Yeah, it was like 12 years ago, and that's what
Because it was
sparked
when
Arlong to try to. That's what sparked, if I'm not mistaken, when Fish Tiger died. That's what sparked Arlong to hate all humans.
yeah,
Yeah.
and because it was when Cola was a kid or Koala was a kid.
Yep.
Okay. Fisher Tiger...
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, that would have been like at least 12 years ago, if like 12 or 10 years ago.
No, it's not that long ago. Because Shirahoshi's 16.
Oh, okay. So if we just So we do the math, just divide, just subtract. Okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, hang on. Okay, here we go. Some pirates manage to escape, but Fisher Tiger dies. So that's in the year 1512. And the pre-time skip starts... Okay, so it was 14 years ago now. But 10 years ago. So, okay, 14 years ago, Fisher Tiger dies. Jinbei becomes a warlord a couple of years after that while still, like, trying to keep the crew together. Right? So, that makes sense. So, it's like, Doflamingo, 12 years ago. Croc, 10 years ago. Jinbei around that 10-year mark. Boa was released the same year Fisher Tiger freed the slaves. So, within that 10 years... she would have become a warlord shortly after Jinbei, meaning Moria is probably the most recent warlord to join before KUMA. Which also makes sense for why he's got a higher bounty than the other warlords.
Yeah, because I've noticed with a lot of pirates, even though some have a bigger bounty than the other, a lot of times, even though one has the lowest bounty, they're still more famous than the one that has the highest bounty, or vice versa. So I'm get with the influence that a pirate has, that's how big the bounty gets, or how much berries are on their head. I've noticed it fluctuates a lot of times.
But this is wild. That means the 7 warlords were around bare minimum 4 years ago because of Ace, right? And then KUMA only joined 3.5 years ago.
Yep.
And then...
and that would mean that would mean KUMA is taking Ace's spot.
Well, I'm wondering if the warlord Ace beat was before Jinbei, which is why he was offered the position of warlord. Meaning it was a warlord in the Grand Line, not the New World. Because think about it like this, right? Ace without Haki unlocks Haki fighting a Vice Admiral at Savity, then fights Jinbei after leaving Fishman Island, and then joins the Whitebeard Pirates. Right? If Ace defeated a warlord prior to that, that's what made them go, okay, let's swap them around. We'll get rid of that warlord and we'll make Ace the new warlord. Right? But then instead, Ace takes out 2 warlords back to back. Right? And then Jinbei being the stronger warlord sort of thing. But I don't know. It's hard with this because we've just specifically not had information on this guy.
It's like complicated when you think about it. When you try to dig at it, it's like very complicated.
Like
you're like, it's like a needle in a haystack.
Well, put it this way: like, have we had anyone teased or like spoken about that we actually haven't seen yet in the story, other than the man marked by flame? Maybe Silver Axe from the Rocks Pirates, being the former leader of Hajinosu? Maybe?
Yo, didn't Zephyr say that his family was killed by a warlord with a devil fruit?
Ooh.
Who was unnamed?
Yes, he did, but that was implied to be Weevil because they made him a warlord over the time
Has there ever been a person that had a grudge against the devil fruits? Like, they absolutely hate all devil fruit users?
Not really.
Zephyr, I think.
No, I don't think Zephyr hated devil fruits. It's just, he was just like, don't rely on them. It's a weak effort.
Like, I've always wondered, will there ever be like when I was watching One Piece as a kid, I always thought to myself, I wonder, will there ever be a person that has a grudge against all devil fruits? Like it doesn't, how people just it's like blind hatred. I don't care if you got the same power as that person. You're gonna die.
Mother
Like what?
Nature.
What did I? But
Mother Nature definitely does not like them. Neither does the sea.
nope, they really do not because the sea is like I created this. Like we don't know who created the devil fruit, but they were like, you know what, fuck it, we're gonna make a contract. Like, hey, if you eat this, you can't swim no more.
This also heavily implies that even though Sabo was a part of the Revolutionary Army, he hadn't actually become like recognized and active at this point in time in the story. Because
Mm-hmm.
during the flashback, they were still talking about Kuma training him up.
Yeah.
So he most likely only started, like, despite what we saw in the anime of him being active like a decade ago,
Mm-hmm.
he probably only started being recognized 3.5 years ago, if that.
Yeah. I've always liked that. It always warmed my heart that the Mira went to Sabo, and then he started doing his own style. I like the fact that Saba's style is like based off of a dragon, almost like a martial art. Like it's almost like the dragon style of Shaolin.
See, I
Because the way he,
I I'm not gonna lie. I think
Mhm.
Sabo's a fucking monster, and not in a good way. Like he he has a touch of like he's a bit sadistic.
he definitely. I've seen. Yeah, if you look at the way he is, he does rebel in fighting. He does like a good.
Just like
He likes a
Luffy.
good fade.
Just like Luffy. Like,
He,
they like to throw hands. Luffy, Ace, and Sabo, they like the pain
oh
in the
my,
gruff.
they really do. It just like you said, like he. That's why I feel like the way he is, the dragon style, actually fits him completely. Because when we see the way he fights with you know how Kuma was training up, like, but we also know who actually taught him that the dragon claw, to
Being
the point
dragon.
where he has. It probably was Monkey D. Dragon, and then so that means that Monkey D. Dragon probably got that dragon motif for a reason,
Yo,
and how.
imagine the disgust of Kuma doing the dragon claw and stabbing into you with the dragon claw and then rejecting you.
Bro.
So he just rips
I'm
chunks off your body by shooting you back.
Ooh, you know what it reminds me of? Okay, everyone remember Rurouni Kenshin?
Yeah.
It reminds me of the Amakiryu Ryu Hirameki, the Heavenly Dragon Slash. Because even
Mmm.
though because think about this, because as Kenshin's master said, even though you dodge the dragon's fangs, you will still be ripped apart by the dragon's talons and the wind. So when you look at the way the devil fruits are set up with all the mythologies and pantheon, we can see like which dragons. So we have good dragons, and then we have horrible dragons that will feast on the blood of the gods. Either or,
Okay.
because
What do you guys think about Kuma showing up at Fuchsia Village at the end and him getting new orders?
ooh,
Because obviously this is showing that Luffy hasn't set out for his journey yet, which, makes sense. But we know this is 3.5 years ago, right?
mm-hmm.
So it's just reconfirming that all of pre-time skip isn't longer than a year.
That means when everyone was getting teleport isekai essentially to to all the corners of the world, it did not happen. This all happened within a year.
How do you guys feel as well about the idea that Kuma at Sabati still had his consciousness about him? So If he wasn't a man of his word, he could have took Bonnie at Sabbaty and ran.
Oh yeah, that's true.
That is true. He could have just went out. He could have got the f out of Dodge.
Mm-hmm. And if you actually look at the bow of Kuma's ship, it's actually mermaid tails, as a reference to sapphire scale.
Oh yeah, a reference to his wife. Oh,
Speaking of Kuma's ship, the
The
what
KUMA.
do you call it? Huh?
the bear.
Yeah, the Jolly Roger tugged on the heartstrings a little bit.
So, does anyone else like? Okay, this is gonna be a weird thing to think about. Tugs on the heartstrings because it's Bonnie's artwork.
Yep.
Bonnie draws the way Luffy draws. Does this not actually feel more like a reference to the Thousand Sunny?
Oh, it hurts.
Which also doubles up as Kuma having the hands of liberation.
Oh, it look emotional damage.
Also, you
Yeah,
can't really see it because we don't see it properly, and he only got this ship later on. But there also looks like an egg on Kuma's ship underneath the cross.
Ooh, I didn't notice that.
But it's smaller than the one on Roger's ship. So he's Kuma's got ears, like bear ears, on either side of his ship. He's got the mermaid tails on the front for sapphire scale. He's got his daughter's Jolly Roger up the top, but then it looks like he's got the same egg that Roger has, with a cross sticking out the top of it.
I'm surprised with all that. I'm surprised no one made a sea bear joke.
And again, it's important to note this ship is fucking massive, because it's actually fitting Kuma in it comfortably now in the rooms.
Yeah, because because when we look at Kuma, he's a heavy boy, so it makes sense that his ship be mega huge.
What are your guys' thoughts on Alpha as well? Because this chick screams Khalifa's sister.
Definitely.
Ooh.
Especially since all you have to do is put a C in front of her name and it's Khalifa.
I didn't even realize that. That's fucking hilarious.
See Khalifa.
I hope this is her little sister. Like her slightly less successful sister.
That would
just
be funny.
A siren. Look, her attack. It's just the siren scream. Just the siren scream.
Also,
because like growing up, the sirens were just these evil spirits that just grab a sailor into the depths of the ocean, then they drown.
Also, really important to note, like a few major things. One, the world government is using the UMIT cargo ships, which is one of the underground brokers, to actually build the Egghead Island. So the world government's employing underground brokers to do stuff too. This is for the power scalers in here. Ready for this?
Boy.
Ready for the craziest feat this chapter? Vegapunk literally is riding so fast, he ignites the desk.
That's crazy.
Vegapunk riding at Mach 5. That's Oda's self-portrait there, I'm telling you. Look at the editors running away with Oda's fine print.
You know what's funny? Growing up, being in science class, I always thought Einstein was an alchemist because you know what, science and alchemy being basically magic. I was like, I really thought to myself as a kid, I was like, are scientists basically alchemists? And I was like, is Einstein an alchemist? Because this is also around the time I was watching Full Metal Alchemist. So I was really in my science brain as a kid.
Alchemists are just scientists with extra steps.
That's what I was. That's what I was thinking when I was a kid. I said, "Is Einstein an alchemist?"
Okay, I've got to ask, why the hell do you guys think Kuma's showing up to Windmill Village?
Mm, I something
Possibly.
big is about to happen. I can feel it. I can feel it in my bones.
I think that of course the world government knows that Shanks stole the Nika fruit,
Yep.
so maybe they're sending Kuma to investigate sightings of a stretchy fruit user.
I think I think the reason why they're sending Kuma it's like it's almost like with the canine unit, they're basically sending him as a dog to sniff out.
I will point out they're asking what Kuma's location is, and Kuma's like, "I'm in the East Blue. What are my orders?" So it seems like Kuma came here separate of the world government. Do you know what would be depressing?
What?
Oh boy.
It would be depressing if Luffy's already met Kuma, but what ended up happening is Kuma removed his memories.
Yo, that would be
Ooh.
crazy.
Well, hang on 1 second. I'll be back in a moment. Sorry, my cat is just going wild. Give me a sec.
No problem. He got to go deal with his fur baby.
Yeah, I feel
But
like
yeah, like I think the government is basically how with how with police dogs and stuff they're basically sending him as a canine unit to sniff out the information.
definitely either that or it's something like maybe he's on like an assassination mission. And because I
Like
feel
a
like
hit,
if it's
yeah, like a hitman.
yeah, I feel like if it was just to like sniff out anything sus, they would send a CP uh agent after them, whether it be CP8, CP9, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I think next chapter we're probably gonna get half a chapter of Kuma's flashback, and it's probably gonna end with Kuma seeing Luffy dancing around the forest or something. Then we're just gonna fade in to like I don't know, Kuma showing up
Yeah,
on Egghead and then Nika waking back up.
yeah, because when we look at the way the mythology is around Joy Boy, and Sun God Nika, it talks about how he was a god that was just dancing, being the god of freedom, and dancing. So, and then when we look at Luffy, he was dancing among the fire. Because when we look at Skypiea,
Right.
So
and also since you back?
yeah, I'm back. Yeah, you finish what you were saying.
We were talking about how the similarities are because with Kuna being essentially a holy man in the he like his entire story is that bro is a holy man and trying to praise the sun essentially. If we really just sit down and really say it.
So I think Kuma at the end here. This might sound messed up. I think Kuma's coming here of his own fruition, and instead he's gonna get diverted away instead of meeting Luffy here, and he's gonna be ordered to commit some really messed up atrocity in the
Ooh,
East
I
Blue.
feel like yeah. Ooh, ooh, in the East Blue where Luffy's ooh. Yeah, cause the world government, I ain't gonna lie, they're like some of the biggest ops I have ever seen in an anime.
We we haven't got any indication of this, but do you know what would be a crazy sad thing?
What's up?
If he's gets an order to go deal with some revolutionaries on an island and has to fight Bella Betty, which
Yo,
is
that
why
would be
Bella Betty has the highest bounty out of all the other revolutionaries at the moment.
that would be messed up.
But that's the kind
Ooh,
of shit the
And
world
Bella
government
Betty
would be
did
doing.
just take over
Ginny's
uh
position.
uh, uh yep.
but when we look at the world government and One Piece as a whole, that is something grimy and devious and blasphemous that they would do.
Yeah.
That is something they would do. I mean, look at the girls say.
Definitely.
Look at them old bastards in the girls say, especially Saturn. that old demon.
Damn, I'm trying to think here. What do you guys think happens next chapter? Because I think, despite how I felt originally, I think maybe we've got 2 more chapters in flashback. Next chapter encompasses whatever's messed up, and the last chapter encompasses his reaction after sending the Straw Hats away in Sabbaty.
I feel like
I know
maybe we
it's
have
about
a
to get
half a
real
chapter
blasphemous.
left.
Half a chapter left, you reckon?
It's about to get real blasphemous. That's all I know. And hands will be thrown.
Young, why do you think there's only half a chapter left in the flashback?
Well, I feel like we've already seen as much as we really need to see of Kuma's backstory.
I feel like
and
we've already. I feel like they've given us all the tidbits of his backstory, and we could pray that we get some more. Other than that, they're just gonna throw us somewhere else.
I think there's 2 major things that we haven't seen yet. Bonnie setting sail before her year's up.
Do you think we will see that?
Because I think we need to get Kuma's reaction to her getting a bounty.
Oh, yeah, true. Because she had a bounty on Sabaody, and Kuma still had his memory by then. Or some of his memory.
Then he gonna be like, my baby girl. My baby got a bounty.
Which is why I think he didn't actually do anything with her on Sabbaty. And why he ended up getting, like, Sabbaty was the last thing that happened before he had his memories wiped. Because Bonnie broke the terms of the deal, and Kuma had to go, I will remove my memories right now if you let her go. Especially since Akainu caught her at the end of Marineford as well, remember? So it's one of those things where Bonnie escapes, breaking the terms of service. Kuma's like, fuck, they're not gonna follow through with the terms of service if I don't take myself out. Blackbeard beats her, captures her, sells her back to the world government. Akainu's like, whoo-wee! Oh, I was scared when you escaped, but we good now. Kuma's fucked. Only for her to get released.
And then, you know what's funny? I like the fact that Blackbeard just has the license to do grimy shiz. He was like, hey, you can't hate... He'd be like, hey, you can't hate me for doing what I'm doing. I legally can. Because he literally got diplomatic immunity when you think about it.
Blackbeard has tried to use 3 to 4 hostages to negotiate with the world government already.
Yes.
Ace, Bonnie, Kobe, now Garp.
Like, he really had... And then the fact that technically he legally can do it. That's the crazy part.
How do you guys think Dragon feels about Kuma being a revolutionary? Do you think Dragon and Kuma ever met after Kuma became a warlord?
I feel like yes and no at the same time.
Or is it as an example of... Because I think it sounds more likely that Dragon gets his information from Vegapunk. Hence why they're still in communication.
Ooh, right. I feel like Vegapunk might be the info broker of One Piece, given his knowledge and stuff.
Also,
and his intellect.
This might sound like a really random tidbit, but just rereading the entire Kuma flashback, it is heavily implied that Ivankov is over Kuma. Despite all feats. Like, the feats, by all intensive purposes, should be like Kuma clears Ivankov. But the narrative that Ivankov is, like, seen as the right-hand man to Dragon, and Kuma just gets to join up later, the fact that Kuma's always like, oh my god, it's big bro Ivankov, and he's, like, looking up to Ivankov. Same with Ginny.
Right.
it is, like, weirdly enough, heavily implied that Ivankov is, like, over Kuma, which adds a whole new layer to Kuma sending Sanji to Ivankov.
Right.
Especially since okay, put it this way, right? Kuma sent Sanji to his most trusted advisor, or his most trusted friend.
Yeah. I just oh, poor Sanji. He was running for his life.
Which I think also adds into it, because I'll have to go back and double check, but did Sanji say to Ivankov that Kuma sent him?
No, I don't think Ivankov said anything.
Well,
Only the fact I don't think
no,
I don't think they discussed about Kum. They might have, or they might haven't.
well,
We might need to go
I
back
think
down.
Sanji was too busy running.
well,
He was too busy running for his life because cause you know what's funny? If we really think about it, you know how Sanji being Sanji when it comes to women. If we really think about it, it was like a POV on how he does women.
mm,
So he was just busy running for his life, as the homie Turtle Hermit said.
I see. I'm looking at it and wondering if like, trying to think if Sanji at any point said, oh, that warlord Kuma sent me here. Not any more than that, but just enough for Ivankov to be like, oh, okay, Kuma sent you here. Why? You know what I mean? Because
Yeah,
I mean, you got the whole cooking thing, which weirdly enough, like, Ivankov's whole thing isn't cooking, but like he apparently has some of the best cooks in the world. Okay,
yes.
but like, Kuma sent Robin to Dragon specifically for info.
Mm-hmm.
Kuma sent Sanji to Ivankov. I'm wondering if it's because of the resolve that Sanji showed before Zoro took the pain.
Yeah, I feel like it's that, and maybe I ain't gonna lie, the Sanji definitely was put through the ringer.
Mm.
But I also like the fact that he sent Zoro over to Mihawk, and Mihawk was basically training someone who will eventually want to challenge him again,
See,
and he respected his resolve.
I think that's also interesting though, looking at this chapter, because we see how the other warlords and Kuma interacts with the other warlords. So, Kuma, understanding Mihawk's personality, sent Zoro to Mihawk.
Mm-hmm.
Or,
Because
or he didn't know Mihawk inhabited that island.
We never see him
like
stop at
almost
Gloom
like a
Island. He
hidden.
just like sails past it.
Well, Mihawk may not have
Yeah.
occupied that island at the time that Kuma went there.
Oh, true.
But the weird one is Luffy to Amazon Lily. Because we never see Kuma go to Amazon Lily.
Nope. And then that's how we meet Boa Hancock.
That's true. I didn't notice that.
Kuma's
And
still
then we
got some
also
mysteries.
see what Boa Hancock and her sisters went through because of the celestial dragons. You
Kuma's...
know what? If I really think about it, the punt when Luffy did that punch on the celestial dragons, why I feel like not only was that a punch for Hachi, but that also low key indirectly spiritually was a punch for Hancock and her sisters.
Oh, there's a punch for every slave everywhere. Honestly speaking, I'm actually a little more upset that we didn't get more fishmen reacting to it later on. Like when Luffy went to Fishman Island.
Yeah, because
Because yeah, it was big in the news.
Hmm.
yeah, because and then and then Boa Hancock finds out that all the Amazons find out that this man, Monkey D. Luffy, Kazuko Oni,
Like,
punched a celestial dragon,
do you know who would
which
have had a
still looks
great
like
reaction to it? Imagine after Marineford, after all the dust has settled, Jinbei trying to catch up on the news of what happened while he was in Impel Down, just to find out that Luffy, that he just left, clocked out a Celestial Dragon.
gave him the
We could have
mean.
seen that in the Jinbei cover story. That would have been good.
That would have been awesome. But I will say that still was one of the greatest punches in anime. I I will say one of my favorite Luffy punch still got to be the Bellamy punch.
The Bellamy punch goes hard.
Cause that punch, he didn't use no devil fruit, no hockey, nothing. That was just raw strength.
That's actually something that I've been bringing up recently when people are like talking about different fights in different anime, and they're like, oh my god, this series has better, they're better martial artists because they're flashier fighters, and I'm like, I feel like anyone that's ever done martial arts and actually has like ever gotten into it, all agree, the dude that can do like the backflip flying kicks and stuff like that, like the flashy, like agile or acrobatic fighters that look really cool, don't mean anything to the dude that can throw that right jab and knock them clean out.
Fighting, look, everyone knows it's fighting rule 101. Everyone got a plan until they get smack attack.
See, it's like there's an adage where it's just like, you don't fear someone that can throw 100 different strikes. You fear the person that's thrown the same strike 100 times.
Be like water. Be formless. Because when we look at, for example, the great Avatar, all the bending styles are martial arts.
Yep.
Because look at each of the bending styles and the way they flow. Like with earth bending, you're more solid, you're more well rounded, you're more to the ground. With fire bending, you're more aggressive. You have it's more about aggressiveness.
Yeah.
With water, you're flowing, you're going with the flow, you're formless. With air, you're just free. That's why
this is gonna sound really random.
Oh, what's up?
Something actually pisses me off this chapter.
Ooh,
what's that?
Ooh, I've rarely seen you mad, no, but I gotta hear this. What tidbit got you pissed?
I am fucking over Slice of Life Teach. Stop showing me him as a brother to these people.
Stop showing me Blackbeard living a good life. How
Dude, every time in the story that we get one of these flashbacks, Teach is either just chilling with Marco and Whitebeard or chilling with Thatch. Every single time.
A good guy every time he's just like chilling.
Yeah.
But we know he's like one of the most evil people in the series.
And like
one of the most grimiest, most blasphemous. Like, this is the same man that stole Pops from us. How dare you give us this man having a good slice of life?
Not just Pops, right? This man, Pops, Thatch, Ace. He's responsible for the trifecta. Plus anyone else that went down in the Payback War.
Like, stop showing us.
When this man became a Yonko, right? Didn't even go to take out Kaido for Odin.
Like, I like your nerve having a good life in this backstory. After we have seen some of your atrocities, stealing Pops' devil fruit.
I was like
nobody.
Dude, I need a flashback. Like, I know this is gonna sound fucking petty, alright? I need a flashback where Teach is like a 15-year-old schoolgirl that's super fake to your face and a bitch behind your back. Like, I need him on the transponder snail of a night in his, like, soundproofed room, like his cabin on the Whitebeard Pirates, talking to Jesus Burgess on the phone, his online friend, being like, we're gonna meet up real soon, buddy.
Picked up on the bed.
Yeah, he's like, we're gonna meet up real soon, buddy. I've had it with these two-faced bitches. Newgate's an absolute pussy. And then, like, Newgate's, like, calls out, it's like, Teach, you coming to dinner? Yes, Whitebeard!
Why do I feel like Teach
y'all
would use
remember that
a
movie?
journal?
What was that?
Y'all remember that movie Meet the Robinson, where
Yeah.
Coop's best friend turns out to be the evil villain in the future. But we looked at the backstory.
Oh, yeah.
They were like, hey Coop, you want to hang out? And then in his evil monologue, he's like, they all hated me.
That's Teach. Teach is out.
That really, he's cool. He really, if we really think about it, he really is cool.
Do you know what the worst part is?
What?
There's a level of either respect or disrespect between Teach and Marco. Because he got the Yummy Yummy No Me. Then he got Whitebeard's fruit. Then he specifically said, I want Ace's fruit, so it's like having an ace on my crew. But the man left Marco well enough alone.
Yep.
Yo, off topic, Marco has one of the most tragic stories in the entire story of One Piece.
Marco is Brook.
Yeah, he's just like losing everybody, but he's basically immortal, having the Phoenix fruit.
Marco is just Brook without having died himself.
Yeah.
It's sad. And I love how it like represents the character, because it's all about like the Phoenix rising from the dead. Marco, everyone dies. Everyone around Marco dies, right? Thatch went down, then Whitebeard went down, Ace went down, all these other Marines went down, Izo went down, Odin went down, Toki went down.
Yeah. Like, he always rises to the occasion, like a phoenix.
It's honestly depressing. No wonder the dude's just like, yo, fucking let the young bloods take the stage. I don't want to.
Yeah, he's like, you know what? I did my time. It's time for this phoenix to just build the nest. All right, I'ma just be adopted.
Marco's out here bitching and moaning, going, I am 50 years young, and you are making me watch more people die. I'm sick of this shit. Fight your own damn battle.
That's why in the Wano, that's why when we watched in the Wano, and when we saw in the Wano, he was like, nah, I'm gonna just sit back and let Sanchi and Zoro take care of this. He's like, nah.
I am waiting for an edit of everyone versus Kaido, because it'll be like a 2-hour long movie, 3-hour long movie, with how many episodes there are of all, like, only just Kaido fighting everyone in Onigashima, no repeats.
Right.
And I just want to sit down and just binge the Kaido fight in anime form.
That's fair. I will say, when Oda was introduced and the way he cut that pig was probably the way I saw it. I said, yep. When I saw that, I was like, yep, Zoro got a long way to go.
Yo, do you know what's even crazier about that? That's Odin with only using armament hardening. No advanced haki or anything.
Nope.
And do you know what makes that even crazier? Do you know what happens after to that pig?
Didn't it get sewed up?
Oh, it didn't get sewed up. It sewed itself up.
Yo, no way.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
In the SBS, in the SBS, they talk about how the cut was so clean, the pig's body didn't know it had been cut, so it like cut between the cells of the pig's body, and the pig put itself back together.
No way, bro. That's
crazy. Because
hang on, before someone calls me a liar, I'm bringing this up. It's SBS 101. I'm pretty sure, or 100.
So yeah, because with certain anime swordsmen, So if do y'all remember? Okay, this is like a little. This is probably like around the filler side of Rurouni Kenshin. Y'all remember when Kenshin took a? It was he was visiting the son of the sword master that made his Sakamoto, and he took a fruit, he took a vegetable, and then he cut the vegetable so clean. He cut the radish, or what it was, an onion. He cut the radish so clean with a specific, with the same material of the sword. He cut it with a knife so clean that he just reattached the kale to get the onion together, and it was good as new because he cut it so clean and he could still attach it.
Hang on, I'm looking for this SBS. I know it's here somewhere.
But yeah, because he cut the pig so clean that its cells were still able to reattach themselves. That's crazy.
Surely I wasn't that far off in the number for it. Because I know it's in volume 100.
And then I just like the fact that Zoro, when he had Enma, how did Enma, he was like, how did Odin will you like a feather?
Yeah, that was pretty crazy.
Because he was like, because you know with Amano Hibakiri and Enma, the swords that slice through heaven and hell, he was like, you saw how Enma was just trying was had a mind of its own, and it was just take trying to take the homie Zoro's hockey out of him, and he was like, if you don't if you don't get your acting line, then he had to. It's kind of funny, but he really had to argue with the sword.
Right.
That's why I've always said, when it comes to a soul, like when it comes to everything have a mind of its own, Bleach and One Piece are the go-tos. Because with Zoro, he's always been instinctual person, so he could sense when there's a soul in his sword. Like with Wado Ichimonji, I still say Queen. Oh, that's right. Turtle Homeless, since you're here, I've already told Supernova and another friend Fanofo about my theory about Wado Ichimonji. Would you like to hear it?
Yeah.
I had a theory that Kuina is inside Wado Ichimonji, and that's why she's been protecting Zoro all this time, and why Wado Ichimonji refuses to crumble.
That'd be
Because
pretty interesting, actually.
Yeah, because I've always agreed with when I've always said that everything in One Piece has a soul, whether it be the weapons, the even the ships, even everything has a soul. You just have to put your all into the soul of anything you have, especially like with Devil Fruit.
I, for the life of me, can't find this SBS, but I know it exists because I have it in hard copy.
It'd be like that. But yeah, like with Zoro, like with all his swords, each of them definitely had a mind of their own. Like rest in peace to Yabashiri. Like remember when he was like, "Man, Yabashiri, this thing cuts very light, but it also has a, but it also has an attitude." And then he was like with Sandai Kitetsu, he was like, "This motherfucker cursed. I'm gonna need this."
Yeah, okay,
He said,
SBS in volume 100.
"Oh, you found it? Lit."
It was the,
He was like,
it was in the one I thought it was. Oh, okay, there it is. I just read it like an idiot. Here we go.
"Oh, you found it?
Yeah.
Awesome."
Right. So it specifically goes. Hello, Odichi. In volume 95, page 173, the person called Yama-san was a big pig, considered the god of the mountain, right? Although Odin wanted to cut him in half, he lived. I'm so glad he's alive. Does Wano have amazing medical knowledge? Pen name, very like Sanji's lightning shopkeeper. That's right, it's alive. Haven't you heard about it? If an arm or something is cut with a clean cut, then the surface can be put back together. Yes, so Yamagami, because Odin's cut was so clean, he was able to put himself back together. Isn't that great? Yamagami's son was called Koyoma.
Ooh, that makes sense.
So the pig put itself back together.
Yep. Because with how, like, since it was a clean cut, the cells themselves were able to reconnect.
And an animal with no opposable thumbs was able to do it.
Yes. And people say there's no soul, and people say One Piece has no soul. I think not.
Alright.
Even the Sea Kings have a voice.
Now, I have to wrap this up soon. We've been going for almost 2 hours. Well, I've been going for almost 2 hours. Is there anything anyone wants to say or bring up in regards to this chapter? Now, also, I might do another discussion over the weekend, getting some more people in to talk about this chapter, just because I haven't had the chance to have discussions for the last couple of chapters.
Look, all I have to say is Kuma deserves to be in the spot of one of the best dads in anime and manga. That's all I have to say. And I will die on this hill.
Weirdly enough, even though this is one of the, like, objectively saddest flashbacks, I don't think this is one of the saddest flashbacks. Because Kuma balances it so well by just being a good dude.
Yep, and I feel like he does deserve his spot as one of the best dads in anime.
I mean, he's easily best dad in One Piece.
Yeah, because dads in One Piece.
I will say, since I'm scaling hard, when Kuma starts bursting out crying, saying, "I'm so grateful, I'll happily accept any fate so long as Bonnie is cured," it's important to note, Kizaru sheds a tear.
Ooh, Kizaru of all people. Ooh, that's a good tidbit.
Man pulls his hat over his face and he sheds a tear. Oh, I mean, man pulls his hat over his face and it starts raining. Raining inside. How emotional.
It's a good day for rain. But I don't see the rain.
It's a good day for rain. Although, feels so dirty, Kuma only having a 296 mil bounty.
I feel like his should be up.
Like, I'm sorry. If you threw this Kuma up against Perospero is... he's being split in half. Like, Kuma is beating the shit out of Perospero. No problem.
He really, like, he is a holy man, but with hands. It's like dust to dust, and dust we shall return.
The only people I really see Kuma having, like, problems with is the warlords, or, like, the Gorosei.
Speaking of, right, it's important to note that Bonnie's dead to rights. Oh! Yeah, I forgot to mention this since I talked about it before, but not with you guys. Right. So you know how Bonnie took Kuma's memories?
Mm-hmm.
It's important to remember earlier on in this flashback, Kuma says, if someone doesn't absorb them, like the things he rejects, they eventually go back to the user.
Oh.
So
that means...
So Kuma can't come back now because Bonnie absorbed the memories.
So that means potentially he might get them back. Ooh.
Well, I think it actually means the opposite. If Bonnie watched all of his memories, that means she took it all in, which would mean getting to know her father's story meant he never came back.
Damn.
Whereas if she listened to Vegapunk, he would have come back.
Ooh.
That's tragic.
Very tragic.
Very.
But also, like to point out, all the Seraphim and all the Pacifistas are less than 3.5 years old.
They're really 3-year-old homunculus, aren't they?
All pre-time skip Pacifistas are a year and a half old at max.
That's crazy. So they really are some 3-year-old and world-ending homunculus.
But think about it
They're
like,
all babies.
think about this. The Vinsmoke and the Germa, it takes 5 years for them to make a 20-year-old clone.
Ooh. And then we have Sanji, who was a late bloomer with his genetics.
Vegapunk was able to clone and age up these people in a year and a half. To adult Kuma age. So the Seraphim must be really young.
Yeah. That reminds me of the skit, the homie Honcho, who's like a big One Piece fan. He did a skit. It was about the pacifistas and the Seraphim, and it was like, wait, where's Sundry? Look, because it was talking about the Boa Hancock, because it
Yes,
was talking
Shark.
about the Boa Hancock. Yep, it was talking about her clone, and it was like, wait, why has everyone turned to stone? And then the person's like, oh, you child lovers. Wait, where's Sanji? Oh, Sanji, oh, you
I've
sick
seen that.
bastard.
I've seen that.
He was like, oh, you Sanji, oh no, you sick bastard. Zoro's definitely better than you.
So, before we wrap up, I've got one very important question to ask.
Oh, so,
We're getting all of this backstory on Saturn. Do you think we get this much detail on every one of the Gorosei?
We kind of have
we
to.
might get a big, we
In
might
the
get a
setup.
big donut tidbit.
Does
Ooh.
that mean 4 more arcs? An arc for each Gorosei?
I ain't gonna lie. I would love to see a fade ran on the girl say. I ain't gonna lie. I was like, you know what? I'm ready for. I want to see if we do get some arcs on all the girls say. I low key want to see it.
Alright, my rough prediction is whenever we come out of this chapter, come out of this flashback, the ancient robot is gonna fucking munt Saturn, and it's gonna end on a chapter that looks like it like took out Saturn ambiguously and freed Bonnie. Then the next chapter, we're gonna get Saturn's devil fruit officially named, and he's gonna be completely fine, and he's going to have even more ridiculous powers than we thought.
Okay, so given the name Saturn, when we look at Roman mythology and Greek mythology, Neptune being the god of the sea, then we have Mars with the moons Phobos and Deimos being Ares, the god of war. When we look at Saturn, that's the real question. Would with that name and tied to the god of that planet is the real question. And given that he looks like a demon, I feel like he probably has something to do with also the other planet Pluto. Because
Isn't
Pluto is
he? Am I wrong, or isn't he visually based on Karl Marx?
yeah, because each of them have their face based off of like how Fujitoro reminds me of Zantichi of the goat, the blind swords.
Yeah. I'm positive he's based on Karl Marx.
I think he should. I think he is like how Al Capone is based off of Capone. Al Capone.
So, if he's based on Karl Marx, I wonder if there's more to his story relating to the real life Karl Marx.
Mm-hmm.
Or if it's a lazy response because, Karl Marx being German. I wonder if it's just more like Oda just lazily being like, hey, German symbology, bad.
This is also. Speaking of, the Nazis did derive heavily on Norse mythology because they feel like
I mean, there was a lot of research put into godhood and whatnot.
yes, because especially when you watch Black Lagoon and how the y'all remember that Nazi episode of Black Lagoon?
The submarine one?
Yep, that's the one. And then they had to go get a valued picture of Grimhilda in the Valkyries.
Yeah.
Cause this is cause if we're going like that, then when we look at him at his name being Saturn, and he also looked like a demon, I feel like is also implying Pluto
That's definitely
or
possible.
Hades. Cause like with speaking of Pluto, have y'all seen the anime Pluto? Or because it's like a reimagining of the Astro Boy art, the greatest robots in the world.
No, I haven't.
I haven't.
I ain't gonna lie, I cried. The way the Pluto is, it will make you cry for robots.
I'll have to give it a watch. I'm currently watching Vinland Saga for the first time at the moment,
Yes, like
and
you was watching Pig.
I've got a like in terms of content creation, I've been a bit
Mhm.
too busy for it with everything going on at the moment. But I'm halfway through the second seasons of Jujutsu Kaisen and Demon Slayer. I need to get back on that. But in personal time, I'm halfway through the first season of Vinland Saga at the moment, and I'm wanting to just get through those at the moment and enjoy them.
How are you? How are you liking Vinland Saga as a whole?
Um, it's amazing. I love the um, I love their portrayal of their characters, how they're very grandiose.
Mm-hmm.
Especially because it plays really well. Because like without it sounding like a shot, it's a very simple plot. It's a very basic premise. Relies more on real world history than it does like excessive creativity. So
Yep.
it's really
Cause
healthy balance is to make really like over the top characters. You know what I mean?
yeah. Yep, like and each of these characters are from the ancient Viking sagas.
Mm.
We have Thorfinn Krasefni, we have Leik Erikson,
I
we
haven't
have
met a lot of these
Thorfinn.
people yet. Is this potential spoiler territory? Ooh.
No, you've already met them. Actually,
I think the
you
only
met Leaf already.
I think I've met so obviously Thorfinn. How am I forgetting his name? Beautiful blonde from the first episode, defending London, throwing the
That's
pies.
Thorkill. That,
Thorkill, yeah,
that is the mighty Thorkill.
yeah,
Thorkill the Tall.
and Ax. I'm gonna butcher this name.
Askeladd.
Askeladd, yeah,
Askeladd.
and those three are my favorite characters at the moment. Clearly,
Oh,
although
you.
so far Thorfinn's sister's best gal.
Yeah, we all love Yova
Mm.
because she is definitely Thor's daughter.
I'm
'Cause
I'm
y-
specifically only just at the beginning of them in Welsh or Wales. Sorry, not Welsh.
yep, Wales.
Mm.
They're they're in Wales, Britannia.
Um. All right. That being said, is there anything anyone wants to say about this chapter or predictions for the next chapter or anything One Piece related before I wrap the stream up?
We're about to probably see one of the meanest fades ever, and probably get our hearts stomped on.
Mm.
Possibly, Oda.
Words won't describe how heartbroken I'll be if the repercussions of Bonnie setting out to sea is the Sorbet Kingdom gets destroyed.
Oof.
Yeah,
Why do
that
I
would
feel
be.
like? Oh, look, I got another prediction. What if the price is actually Kuma's life in the process?
Okay. Bonnie's a little girl. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, Otama. I'm sorry. But Bonnie and Momo, that's a ship. She can age him back to a kid and just keep resetting him back to a kid age. Both of them are kids that have been aged up.
Possible ship intake. But
Shared
I feel like
experiences.
what? Yeah, but what if, in order to protect his daughter, overall, it actually will cost him his life.
Well, what if, again, think about it, KUMA and Odin, very similar stories. Sailing with the legends of their eras, right? Both of them, though, sacrificing themselves for the people around them and for everyone else's well-being.
Right, heroes have very similar stories too.
Both believing in... One believes in Joy Boy, one believes in Nika.
Yep. The sun gods.
Getting some parallels now. Getting some parallels.
And then when we really think about how big Joy Boy was, we see that big giant straw hat. I said, I was like, was that Nika or was that Joy Boy's hat? We will never know.
We will know. They have to explain that. There's no way they can leave that as a cliffhanger. Although, I will say,
I want to know who was out here chilling with one of the biggest straw hats in this mug.
I can tell you right now, off the top of my head, who it is.
Oh, who is it? I'd be like, is it Joy Boy? Is it Nika?
It's Scotch and Rox's third brother.
There's another one?
No, but have you seen Scotch and Rock?
Yeah, I've seen Rock. I seen the way Rox looks. I was like, wait, there's another. That's why I was like, when you said he had a third brother, I said, there's another there's more of them? There's more of those psychos?
Because they both wear straw hats.
Ooh.
I'll bring up a photo of that, just really quickly before I roll off. Because if you go back to Punk Hazard, their top halves are always in silhouette, even though we constantly see them with straw hats.
Ooh.
And the straw hats that they have on would fit perfectly for I can't say that. That'd fit perfectly for the one that we see in Marijua.
Mm-hmm.
So it's definitely something to consider. That being said,
all right.
Did you want to say one last thing there, Young?
No, I'm good.
No, not really.
Kermit, you good?
I thought I heard someone go to speak, and I thought I cut him off then. I don't know why. Okay. All good then. Alright, cheers for coming through, guys. We may do another discussion stream over the weekend. Don't feel pressured to come through if you're pressed, and I don't know if I will do it or not. But I just wanted to talk about this just while I'd come off the back of the chapter, and I was thinking about it at the moment. But I've also got a very busy weekend at this point, so I kind of doubled up on this just to be safe. But yeah, damn good chapter. On a scale of 1 to 10, though, I probably would only give this chapter a 7.
Definitely, yeah.
It was a lore chapter, but it wasn't a heavy lore chapter outside of a new missing warlord.
It was. I can say it could be like more of a tidbit chapter. Like you said, it's more lore than like an actual chapter. It was more like a, hey, here's this.
Yeah, definitely.
It was like the info broker chapter.
Definitely.
Well, I'll see you crewmates later.
Yeah, cheers for coming through. Nothing but love, nothing but respect. I'll catch you guys later.
Of course. And look, just to show the love, I subscribe to you.
Oh,
just to show
helping me get the To those of you that
see all the. I don't know if you can see all the subscribers, but I just subscribed to you.
To those of you that haven't already subscribed to the channel, help us hit our goal of 250 subscribers. We did only just hit 200 not too long back, so it is appreciated. Especially since it was only a little over a year ago that I'd only hit 70, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it's a huge milestone when you're doing this stuff. And it's hard to stay consistent, but it's good to stay consistent. But yeah, thanks to everyone that comes through and watches it, and thanks to everyone that comes through and gets to participate, because it is fun to talk about this stuff together. Until the next chapter of One Piece, or until the next video of mine, thank you guys and girls for coming through. I've had with me tonight the Black Paladin and Young, aka Turtle Hermit.
Yo.
Say goodbye, guys.
Yo, it's your boy. It's your boy, the Black Paladin. We'll always be a crew. We'll always be a lover of all the big three.
Damn right.
And your boy is out. Mugiwara out.
Peace. And, nothing but love, nothing but respect. Thank you guys and girls for coming through. Have a damn good day. Goodbye.